Hi everybody, it's me, Jessica lwhor, and we're back with another Jess Talk. Ooh, and it feels like forever since we've seen each other. But this Jess Talk is all about the Colorado Divas Drag Initiative and Variety Awards. But before we get into this episode, which I know y'all are eager to hear about, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications so you're not missing out on my fabulous content, and we're streaming as a podcast on all networks. So we got Spotify, Apple Music. Go download Jess Talks and make sure you subscribed as well. Okay, Colorado Divas, let's get into it.
Attention the whore. Attention the whore. Attention the whore. Attention. Here I am walking down the street, seeing all the boys trying to take a peek. Shorts pulled up and chest out right. Come on, boys, just take a bite. Look but don't touch, spin it round and round.
Okay, so this is the time of the year when I'm filming this, and it just came at the perfect moment when we were considering what to film today. The Colorado Divas Drag Initiative and Variety Awards. This is created, and we're going to be celebrating our 5th awards to ever happen, which is really, really cool. Let me just tell you a little bit about the backstory of how the name came up, the idea, how it came into play. So the Colorado Divas, for many years, early in my drag career, I was eager to have some kind of award ceremony that recognized drag artists and our show people and our venues and the people that work at the venues and pretty much anything queer in the state of Colorado. When I was a younger entertainer, that was a really hard feat to put on, get to people to support the idea. But I really felt that it would be an amazing piece for the community. Look at award ceremonies in so many different industries. We have the Tony Awards, we have the Golden Globes, we have the Oscars, we have the MTV Music Awards. There are awards, when award season comes around, it's not a new thing. Awards have been presented in categories of so many different art forms, sports, porn. It doesn't matter. Awards it's just what we do. Why do I think awards can be beneficial? I think awards not only bring light and recognition to names and people that are new, that are up and coming in the scene, that have been pioneers, that have worked their ass off, and they deserve to be seen and to be heard. I think it's an opportunity to bring accomplishments and to use something to say, hey, I won this award. It might benefit your resume. It might make you feel seen and recognized in the community. But there's a huge piece of award ceremonies, and you see this with celebrities, about how you're going to respond. And part of this structure, this idea, is that you're cheering on the folks that won maybe over you.
I don't know how many times that Whitney and I have been in the same category together, but I'm going to enjoy this one.
Ultimately, you say good job and let it move on. The awards were coming up, and I really wanted to make this happen. I didn't know what to call it, but I had influences like the Glam Awards in New York, which I think they just celebrated their 25th year, which is their nightlife awards. I don't know if it stands for something necessarily, but they recognize cabaret shows and best duets and DJs and queer venues and different shows, and that was part of the inspiration. You have the Chicago Nightlife Awards that do something similar. You have I can't remember the name of it. The Nebraska drag scene does awards as well. I'm pretty sure LA does too. So I wanted Colorado. I wanted the state to have the same recognition, and we can't just do Denver because Denver is very big, but we also have so many different pockets in Colorado that need to be seen. Now, I'm going to be the first one to say right here, right now, if you're watching this video, I know that the awards are not perfect, okay? It is an ever-growing, ever-changing structure, dependent on the year, depending on the different influences for that year, but they all have the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal that I wanted to see was a party or a huge event that everybody in our industry, queer and beyond, could take the evening off come dolled up, dressed up, expressing themselves however they want to, following a theme, and you're in a room full of people that you normally never get the opportunity to see, maybe work with, different parts of the state finally coming together. And it's pretty magical to look out and see so many different venues, so many different entertainers, so many different people in the industry in one space. So as I had pitched around the idea, I had a response, or I don't remember if they posted it or if I posted it. Someone posted wanting to do awards. Anka Shane and Gia Stacks, who are still involved in some ways in the queer scene, were prominent drag entertainers at the time. And I said, hey, I've been wanting to do this forever. Can I join your team? Can we do this? Can we make this happen? And they're like, yeah, that sounds great. And at the time, their interpretation of what they wanted to see with the awards were more silly, kind of like high school senior year superlatives, like most likely to do a death drop and not get up, most likely to get too high at a show, something like that. And as much as I think that's funny and cool, superlatives in some ways not only celebrate silly things, but they can make you like point out some flawed things as well. And I wanted there to be at least an element of seriousness, which at the time they were not on board. So I said, hey, I really want you to do your thing. I think I'm going to try and make this happen. And I kind of went for it. I remember starting to plan the ideas and the structure and the types of awards and how I wanted it to go, because I was starting from scratch. And I was with my sister at the time, who is now Xenon TV. She changed her name. She was on Camp Wanakiki. We were at an REI getting Starbucks, and she suggested the DIVA Awards. And I was like, ooh, I kind of like that. I was like, what could this stand for? Thought it out. So she came up with the idea of the Divas, the Colorado Divas, but I think together and a little bit on my own, we decided it was Drag, Initiative, and Variety Awards.
And thus, the Colorado Divas were born.
Started getting promotions together, getting logos together. T. Candy Fox was actually the one that designed the original Divas logo that you see on all the promos. It's like perfection to me, and we use it on everything. And they were also in charge of all the promotions and flyers and the slideshows and things like that. It was originally, I really wanted the Divas to be at a neutral venue. It was at Denver. I had a mini contract with them. I went to go view the space 2 weeks prior to the awards ceremony happening, and this is in December 2018, I believe. And it was nothing like the photos. It was so small, it would have barely fit 100 people. They were working on construction. They didn't include food. And I walked in and I was like, this is going to be a disaster. I was so set on finding a venue that wasn't queer, so people didn't think that the awards were influenced at whatever venue they were at. And it ended up not working out. I canceled my contract with them, and I called who was the GM at Trax at the time, and I begged him for the space. They were so gracious to give me the space and the AV and the staffing and let me throw it the very first Divas at Trax, which had a huge turnout. I think there was like 500 people that came to the first ever Divas. It was incredible. Now, incredible from a stance that we made it happen. Not so incredible that Jessica learned a lot that year. Jessica learned the idea of having volunteers and getting some help, getting some input. Jessica learned that voting should not be done at the event, and you have to fill it out like a survey on 2 semi-slow laptops that can barely connect to the internet. So that was a struggle, and we got the results literally the moment before the awards started. But we were so late because it took everybody forever to get in. There wasn't enough seating. There was no food, so people were cranky. I think we had actually food trucks, but it wasn't the right food for the event. Like, you're all fancied up and you want to eat the food truck food, but there's nothing. It's sloppy, exactly. So we had to. There was food, but like nobody was really eating. But we gave away like I think a shit ton of drink tickets, and people got up the first Divas. The first Divas also had a learning moment because I think we had like 74 awards. A huge portion of them were named after local drag artists. The award awards were so heavy that if you look at the drag, variety, and initiatives, like the whole idea that those are the three categories we're looking at for the divas, the drag category was so heavy it barely recognized variety and initiative. So mellowing that out was a learning moment. Figuring out who was going to present. I had a lot of people that like signed up to present and then decided not to show up or communicate it. Winners that decided to not come. It was really conflicting, but at the time, a lot of folks got on board with it because it was a new idea. Let's try it out. And there were a ton of folks that had the backlash piece that didn't feel welcome, didn't want to come. And you just kind of roll with that. It was harder in those first couple of years. Last year and this year, super easy, super numb to that backlash. The Colorado Divas developed, and it went from tracks to X-Bar, and it's been at X-Bar a couple of times. This is the first time it's going to be at Meow Wolf, and we're going to have the after party at X-Bar. And I really believe this is going to be the best one yet. The Divas have been molded each year based off of feedback, outside interpretation, based off of people just having conversations with me or viewing things that I didn't think would happen, and things run smoother. We have a more concise, I think, streamlined award process that people know, and it makes sense, and it involves transparency. You know, one of the things that I pride myself, and I decided to take on literally before posting the very first promotion for the Divas, was that if I was choosing to go into this, there's a lot of power and a lot of responsibility for the role that I play. Making sure that even if they're not my favorites or the people that I would choose in the award categories, they still won. They were still respected and honored. My balance of my involvement has changed as well. Like the very first one, I was very gung-ho about being like,
well, I'm part of this community and my shit should be involved in this too.
And as the years have gone by, I found it's just easier to completely remove myself from being recognized in any capacity because of the amount of people that think that the awards are rigged and cheated and manipulated. And I can promise you, they have never been touched in any sway or anything. What you see is who has won. One year, the second year, I tried out a team, which had some really great positives of getting different input, getting more people on hands on deck, reaching out to venues in different corners of Colorado, which has been a growing struggle. And then some downfalls of coordinating with a bunch of different people, budgeting with a bunch of different people when there's such an unclear budget of how this event works, because a lot of the way that this is paid for is based off of ticket sales and then later years sponsorships. But the backlash, a lot of folks getting backlash simply for being involved with me or the event. You know, I put a lot of time and a lot of hours into the Divas, and people ask, well, if you have to go through all this crap every year, why do you keep doing it? And honestly, the reward is genuinely, when I first start talking on the mic, to welcome everybody. It is so powerful to see that sea of people, and even see people that disagree with you, see people that don't get along or at rival venues, or may not support the idea of the awards, but they show up because they get that it's larger than them. That's powerful. It's magical. It's beautiful to see. And that's ultimately the goal. People can choose how to take winning or being nominated as their own cup of tea. Like if you want to sit there and say, yeah, I won this. It's no different than somebody winning a pageant title. They can do what they want with that. They don't have to tell anybody. They can tell everybody. Some people aren't going to care that you won that pageant title. Other people are going to think it's the coolest thing in the world. Sometimes it'll help you get a job or a booking. Sometimes it just won't mean anything, and people don't care. This idea is that we can celebrate and acknowledge folks that are doing great things in our community, and that we can come together to meet people from all over the state and see events from all over the state and look at the year that everybody put into it. This is going to be the best year, which I'm excited for, but the Colorado Divas have grown, and it's not a profitable thing for me by any means. I think of the 4 years, we haven't had our fifth year, I think I've made no more than an $85 off of a Divas. And that doesn't even quantify what I invested. That doesn't quantify what I spent money on or the expenses that I took on as a producer for this event to make it special. I think I'm explaining that now, and not as a defense thing, but people need to realize that the money goes back into charity. The money goes back into the event, and it's not about money in the long run, but it's about making something really special. Sometimes you have to invest a little bit to make something super special. I always am a super strong stickler of folks are always local and like, hey, I really want to perform. I really want to perform at the Divas. And I flat out am so anti-locals performing at this event. Come and let us throw a party for you, a drag show for you to watch and enjoy with some big local artist names from around the country. Like, that's so cool to me. It helps me not play into favoritism or be biased or anything like that. I think I'm a little bit biased when it comes to picking who I want to host with me or who I think is appropriate to announce an award for somebody. But it's never out of favoritism. It's out of what makes sense in my head and what I think is best for the show, truly. You know, there's always going to be positives and constructive criticisms and to how this award show works, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. I completely understand. But if it is, I suggest you give it a chance. See what it's about. Come and get some food. Come drink with your friends. Come turn a look and look cute. Play some games. You know, look at the vendors that we provide. Nominate yourself. Nominate your friends. Promote your art. Promote your drag. Let people know that you deserve to win this. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to get bigger and better. But the amount of pride that I have that we're 5 years in to this award show when nobody believed in helping me make it possible, and now we're making it possible, it's pretty cool. It's such a huge accomplishment. I spent half of my career putting on this event. That's pretty powerful to say. And I take the criticism with a grain of salt and the feedback, regardless of its intensity or not, with a grain of salt. But ultimately, if everybody just took a deep breath and decided to support in the best way that they can, I think it'd be even more successful. Plus, I want this to inspire several other award shows. I want Colorado drag, queerness, artistry, the scene in whatever way that you can to be. I want there to be a Divas in Fort Collins, a Divas in Pueblo, a Divas in the Springs, a Divas in Durango, and then we bring those winners to be recognized at the Divas in Denver. I want representation, and I want awards to make sense and make people feel like they can be seen and recognized. I think that's such a cool idea, but not everyone's gonna be happy. Can't make everybody happy. All you can do is put your best foot forward, your best intention forward, and put on one hell of a party. The Divas will always be my baby, and we'll see how much longer I can continue to raise this child, because Mama's about to take her off the nipple, send her off in a basket like the Prince of Egypt, come now, my baby, and just like push it onto somebody else.
Hush now, my baby, be still, love, don't cry.
Anyway, Colorado Divas, celebrating Colorado's Drag Initiative and Variety Awards, making sure to highlight the folks putting in the work and the time, and overall coming together as a community to celebrate each other and enjoy one big party as a group. We're stronger together, we're stronger in numbers, and there's no reason we can't provide this opportunity like some of the biggest cities in the country. Convince me not. Tell me down below if you've ever attended a Divas, if you have awards in your state, what are some of your favorite award ceremonies, and if you've ever won anything. What's the silliest or weirdest award that you've ever won? In the meantime, we'll see you next time. Bye!
Attention the whore.
Hi, little whores, it's me, Jessica lwhor, and did you know that I'm on Cameo? That's right, Cameo is a platform where you can get personalized messages from me, the biggest whore in all of Colorado. Whether it be a birthday sing-along, a bar mitzvah, a congratulations on your new job, a congratulations you didn't get pregnant, I'm your whore for the message. So, follow the link below, click it, and book your next Cameo to surprise your best friend, your grandma, your family member, or any other little whore fan out there. Come on, book them now.